Hi, Franzoans! Welcome to this new FL Studio basic tutorial. Today we are going to talk about the playlist. So to open the playlist window, you have to click on this button here. And I have it maximized. So for example, you can restore, but I prefer always to use in a maximized way. In playlist, you can have patterns like this, automation clip like this, or an audio clip like this. This is a sample short audio clip, but also you can have, for example, you can put a vocal.
Feed me, baby.
Oh my god.
Activate.
Okay, this is fine. Okay, or if you have some recording, okay, you can put in the playlist. And what's determine what you put down on a playlist? Basically, depends on the last thing you click on. So, for example, if the last thing was pattern 2, when I click on playlist with the draw icon, for example, I will put on pattern 2. If the last thing was this automation clip, I will put automation clip. If the last thing was this audio clip, I will put this audio clip. And you can put things in the playlist in different ways. You can select with the scroll the pattern you want to put on. And for example, if I select pattern 4, when I click on playlist, I put down pattern 4. Or you can use, it's very helpful sometimes to use this left side bar that it's called a picker panel, and you can enable it by clicking on this icon and clicking on goes to picker panel and enable. If I click enable again, I am going to disable it, and this is very helpful because you can you have three options. You have basically these are filters, so you can view all patterns, you can view all clips, and you can view all automation clips. So you can drag and drop in playlist in this way. Also, you can move, click and drag up or down. Also, with Control and click, you can select multiple things and you can click and drag. For example, you want pattern 1 and pattern 2 down. So select and put it down, okay, in this way. Also, there is another method to move a pattern up or down. Basically, when you are in a channel rack and you press Ctrl plus Shift plus up or down arrow, and you can move a pattern. And also, you can see in the browser window when I move, for example, I'm moving pattern. Okay, it will obviously it will rename pattern 5 as for example pattern 4 because there is no name. But if I put a name, okay, so for example hi, okay, with control plus shift plus up or down, you can see I move the pattern, okay. But it's very cool, okay, to move pattern also here. The thing I like about the picker panel is that it shows me colors. When I click on this arrow here, I can see the name of patterns, but I can't see colors. So when you work and you have a lot of these patterns, you can it's hard sometimes to find the pattern. Okay, with colors it's more easy. I prefer to, for example, coloring drum with orange, bass with red, and scenes with blue or violets, and black sound with light blue and other colors. So it's very personal, but it's important to use colors, and with picker panel you can see colors. Now we have different modes to put things on a playlist, and the first one is draw with draw button. So if you click on this icon, I put things in the playlist. If you use paint button, it's different because you can click and drag, and you put multiple times the same pattern, but without a space. Okay, and the cool thing, when you go over every icon, it shows in the hint panel to the left, the top left, the corresponding hotkey. An important thing, in order to use these hotkeys, you have to deactivate this option, typing keyboard to piano keyboard. Because if I press the keys, I'm going to press notes. Okay, so I have to deactivate this option, and I can use these hotkeys. So for example, to delete, okay, you can delete with right click or right click and dragging, but also you can delete switching the with hotkey D, for example. You're going to delete. Or if you want to mute, okay, you can click here, or you can press T. Okay, so if you, for example, you are in draw mode, you can change, you can see the icon change every time. So T, when I select the mute option, and you can mute patterns, you can mute audio clips, and also you can mute automation clips. Basically, when you mute an automation clips, the automation clips became no more effective. So this is what it does. And also you have sleep option. So sleep option is helpful, for example, if you make a cut of this automation, and maybe you have created some things after, and so when with sleep you can find the right position. For example, if you don't want to take the spin, cut, for example, and then move here, okay, you can do in this way, or also you can do in this way with sleep, okay, and the hotkey is S. Then you have obviously cut. If you cut straight line, you are going to cut according to the snap you selected here. Okay, so for example, if I select 1/4 beat, you can cut more precisely. When you cut in this way, you're not going to cut according to the snap. Okay, when you use Shift plus left click, you're going to cut just in a straight to line. And with right click, you're going to cut away the smallest part of the pattern, for example. And this is not just cut. If you cut, you have to cut, and maybe you want to delete. Okay? With right click, when you cut, you cut away. Okay, so you make cut and delete in one time. Also, you can use cut with right click on audio clips. Okay, so to cut away the smallest part. Also, you can cut in an angle with right click, and you are going to cut away the smallest part, not following the snap. Or you can press Shift plus right click, and you're going to cut away only in straight line. Then you have mute, pressing T, and you're going to mute the patterns. Okay, so the patterns still remain, but they are muted. Okay, and if you want to unmute, you click again. If you right click, you are going to delete, so be careful. Then you have select with a short key. You're going to select multiple things, and if you use shift plus left click, you're going to select also in this way multiple things. Okay, but it's different to do in this way or in this way. Then you can also select a portion of the time. So for example, okay, let's listen. Okay, and you maybe you want to hear just okay, set the snap, just this portion. Okay, or this portion. Maybe you want to edit something, so you want to edit the appropriate filter curve. So for example, you listen and listen again. Okay, so this is an example. And also about time selection, when you press shift plus right click, you can make a selection. And also if you press again shift plus right click, you can change the start time or the end time of the selection. And with left click you can move the selection. If you press alt plus shift plus right click, you can change the start time and end time of this time selection without following the snap. Or if you press alt plus shift plus left click, you can move the time selection without following the snap. And with this icon, you can make zoom selection. And so you click and drag and make a zoom immediately in that point. And when you click again, you're going to zoom out. And then you have the playback icon here. You can have a preview of sound depending on where you click. Okay. Also about playlist is helpful sometimes to use this scroll to each time markers. So when I click on, it will follow and move the view. Sometimes you have to deactivate because you want to edit something in some point, and you make play and stop and play again. Okay. And now let's talk about snap. Okay, you have a different type of snaps, and also you have the line option that snaps in order to the visible lines. So for example, if I click and drag, also I can cut the end or cut the start of the pattern of, for example, okay, in this way we are going to see in a minute about audio clips, because we have different options. And but if I zoom, when if I click on line mode, okay, when I zoom, I can see more lines. So for example, in this case, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 lines here. But if I zoom, I can see more lines. Okay, so this is very helpful. So for example, you want to make an edit, and then you're going to be more precise, and you for example, this is very useful when you are going to put samples in the right position. And for example, okay, you move this clip, and you want this clip here, but you can zoom and you want to be more precise. Okay, this is very helpful. Also, you have an options to zoom more. You have to go on options, project general settings, and time-based PPQ. So PPQ is pulse per quarter, and if I set to 9060, basically I can zoom 10 times more, and I can clearly see the waveform. Okay, this is very helpful to edit audio clips. Obviously, when you choose this type of PPQ settings, you are going to use more CPU. So be careful. It's a thing that is great for when you want to edit and you want to see clearly the waveform, and you maybe want the waveform that is in phase. Okay, but then once you finish to edit, I suggest you to reset to the normal settings. Okay. Also, you can zoom. You can zoom with this in this way, clicking and dragging here, or you can zoom pressing Ctrl and scrolling, and you're going to zoom horizontally, or you can zoom vertically with Alt. Okay. Also, if you mid-click your scroll, you can change position. Okay. And now let's take a look about the playlist focus. So you have focus on audio clips, automation clips, and patterns clips. So with, for example, with automation, you can put points with right click. You can change, you can bend it. And when you click on, when you have the slide option activated, when you move a point, basically it will move all other points, maintaining the relative distance, okay, between the other points, but changing the point you move. If you deselect the slide option, okay, you move the point, but the other points still remain in the same position. Also, you have step editing, so you can click and drag, and you can make an automation in this way. Then you have option on audio clips. So when you have stretch option enabled, when you click and drag, you are going to resize the audio clip. Okay, so this is different from this. Okay, and when you disengage stretch option, you're going to cut the auto clip. Okay, also there is a zero cross point. When you click on and you activate it, when you edit the auto clip, you're going to let's zoom, let's reactivate the increase PPQ, and as you can see, we can see the wave. Okay, and when I for example I cut without zero cross point, when I cut, okay, I make this cut, and I can have some clips, because for example, this audio doesn't start at 0 point. So to avoid this problem, you have to activate zero cross option. And so when you cut the audio clip, you are going just to cut when it reaches 0 points. So if, for example, if I cut here, the cut isn't here. It can be here or here, because here the wave isn't at 0. Okay, so you can cut. For example, if I cut here, the cut goes here. And about focus on pattern clips, we have 3 options that you can use. So you can choose to color the notes you see on the playlist with the color of the pattern. So the pattern is green and the notes are green. If you choose channel, okay, for example, I've colored this channel in this way, and the note you see here is in this color, or you choose note. And note refers to when you go to piano roll, you can have 16 different colors for the notes, because when you write notes, you can write notes in 16 different MIDI channels, and you are going to use different MIDI channels on a piano roll, for example, on a VST that support multiple MIDI channels input. So, for example, you put the melody on channel 1, and the color, the corresponding color, okay, is this green. And then below you have the notes of the drum. So let's suppose you have this is represented drum. So you're going to select these notes and change the color to the 14. And you have these notes that are, I hope you can see, that are in yellow. So if I select notes here, you can see the notes in the first MIDI channel are in green, and this one is in yellow. And in this way, in the playlist, for example, if you have a pattern that contains a channel or more than one channel that use different colors, you are able to see the different colors you have chosen according on which channel you want to send the MIDI information. Now let's take a look on playlist elements options. So we have a preview. Okay, basically it's like I switch on pattern mode and I click play. Then you can change the source pattern. Okay, you can edit pattern, and it will send you to the piano roll, renaming color, so we can call it red, or you can just change color. Make unique is a feature to basically clone the red pattern, but it will use in the playlist the second red pattern. Okay, so the clone. Also, there is another feature that, for example, if I put this pattern plus this pattern, and when I select all these 2 patterns, right click here with the draw icon, and you can merge pattern clips. Okay, so in this way you're going to create a new pattern that starts with the red one and with the pattern 2. Then you add delete. And about audio clips, you have also make unique as a sample. So it basically loads this sample twice in the project. And in this way, for example, if I click make unique as a sample, the file on your Windows folder is the same, but in FL Studio, when you make change to the sound, for example, you change you create a feed out, okay, or you, you, change the pitch. Okay, when you change the pitch, okay, or you change the pitch, okay, or you, or you change the pitch, okay, when you change the pitch, okay, or you change the pitch, okay, or you, or you change the pitch, okay, or you, or you change the pitch, okay, when you change the pitch, okay, or you change the pitch, okay, when you change the pitch, okay, or you change the pitch, okay, when 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 you when you make change to this one still remain the same. Basically, you're going to, it's like you right click on here and clone. Okay, it's the same thing. Then with audio clips, you have also the chop option, so you can chop it. Okay. You also have edit sample, and it will send you to the edison editor, or you can edit in new tone. So if, for example, you have a vocal and you want to edit the pitch. Another thing, when you edit things on playlist, okay, with Control C, you're going to copy, and Control V, you're going to paste, or you can use Control X to cut, or you can use Control B to paste every time, okay, in this way. So it's like you use the paint icon, okay? But it's different. With paint icon, I'm going to paint just the pattern I have selected. With Control B, for example, you have pattern 4, pattern high, pattern 9, and you can select all this pattern and press Ctrl B. Okay, if you make a time selection like this, for example, you're in this situation. If I in normal mode, if I select, for example, the pattern high and press Ctrl B, it will put another pattern high after the previous one. But when you have made the time selection and use this option, it will put another time the pattern high before the time selection. So at the end of the time selection. And so, as you can see, it also moves the time selection. Now let's talk about playlist tracks. Okay, so I have different options. I can rename the track, or I can right-click auto name. And for example, if pattern 2, if I change on, I call synth, for example. Okay, and right-click again, auto name. It will automatically recolor and rename the playlist track. Also, you can solo, unsolo, or mute the whole track. Okay, so you can have some different things here and different things here, and when you mute, it became no more effective. Also, you can resize the single in this way, the single track, or click and drag here. Also, you can lock to size, and when you resize the things on the playlist, the size of the synth track still remain the same. Also, you have the group option. For obviously in the first track, this option is not possible because this is the first track. But on the second track, you click on group and you create a group with above track, and you can hide the things clicking on this icon. So you can see synth track 2, track 3, track 4. When I click, I can see just only synth and track 4. And this is very helpful to stay more organized in playlist. Let's suppose I have the synth and I have this automation, and I want to stay more organized, so I want to hide automations. Also, you have a lock to content option that in this way if I put something in this track, it only put the things, the synth pattern. Even if I select another pattern, for example, pattern 1, when I click here, it put only the synth pattern, unless you click and drag from the picker panel. Okay, picker panel bypass this function. I don't know if this was intentional by ImageLine, but it can be fine. Okay. I don't use log to content, okay, and I use picker panel a lot. I prefer to use, I feel very comfortable with using picker panel instead of selecting here the pattern and put put it down. Then you have consolidate this track, and consolidation, basically you are going to export just this track of the playlist. It's different to export a pattern. Okay, when you export a pattern, you switch to pattern mode. You're going here, file export, and shows the export file you want to export. In this way, you are going to, for example, you can have different patterns here in this track, and you're going to export all things on this playlist track, and you can choose to consolidate from track start or from song start. So, for example, if I have this situation, the track starts here, the playlist track starts here, the song starts here. Okay, so they are different ways, depends on your need. Anyway, be careful when you think to consolidate a track, because if you have an automation like this, the automation will not become effective. So, for example, if you have your filter that is embedded in the synth, so do free have its own filter, and if you export this track, you're not going to export also the automation. And okay, you can filter with other effects in a post process, but isn't the same thing, because every synth have its own filter shape. So if you want to export preserving the things that an automation does, I suggest you to make a time selection and deactivate all things you don't want to export. So, for example, you can have other patterns here and here. Okay, you are going on click on mute button, and you're going to mute all things and just activate the things you are interested on. So you want to export. Then also you have mute all clips, unmute all clips, insert new one, delete, move up or move down. Also you can move up or down pressing shift and scrolling. Okay, now you see that when I scroll, I move obviously the synth track and the two tracks below, because the track 2 and the track 3 are grouped to the first track. So if I ungroup, when I move this one, it only move the synth track. But if I have this situation, so the second track is grouped with the track above, when I move the track above, I move also the track below. Okay, so I can call it, I can auto name, and in this way you can see. And also, if you have another track below, okay, when you move for example, the automation track, it only move down or up, but I cannot move more. Okay, you can listen my scroll. I can move more because it still remain in that group. Okay, so it then we have some other options. You have quick quantize start times. So for example, you have this snap and you have this pattern that is not in time. So when you click on this tool, that also there is a hotkey shift plus Q, it will make a quick quantization. Then you have different view options. Snap you can recall here or here. Group I don't use. Okay. Different type of zoom. And we have time markers. Okay, to add time markers, you can click on Ctrl plus T and you add time markers. And you have a different type of time markers. Okay, so audio basically is a basic time marker, and this also helps you to stay more organized with your project. So for example, you can put time markers here and right click and you can rename and call intro. Then you have for example here Ctrl T, you go here, rename, and you have melody. Okay, and there are different types of markers, especially loop. Loop allow me to loop when I reach this point, it will go back here. So let's listen. Okay, this is a loop. Also, you have is very helpful the punch in recording and punch out recording. So in this way, for example, if I put a time marker here and a time marker here or here, okay, you can also click and drag and move, punch in recording and punch out recording. So basically, what's happened? I click play, and when it reaches this point, it will start recording, and when it reaches this point, it will stop the recording. So when I click play, okay, you can see while it was playing, the recording was start at this point and was end at this point, and so you have your audio clip, and this is very helpful. To end the song, okay, you had to use the loop marker, and for example, you want to place in this position, you want to preserve the reverb. Okay, the song is finished, but you are able to listen the reverb because I am on FL Studio. But when you export, the reverb will be cut away. So be careful and to place the end time markers far away in order you have all the long tail reverb. There is still sound. Maybe here, okay? Okay, now I'm switched on my track Rainy Woods, and this is the editing power. And I wanted to show you a cool feature about the picker panel. Okay, so as I said, the picker panel have three sections: the pattern section, the audio clips section, and the automation clips section. And for example, let's suppose I want to find, okay, I have a lot of automation and I want to find a certain automation. So I go here, right click, for example, nymphs dance volume, and right click and select in playlist. Okay, and boom, I have this one in red color. Or for example, I want to find the pattern lead. Right click here and select in playlist. And boom, I have this one colored in red. Okay, so this feature is very helpful. And also, okay, you have other options such as transpose. Okay, you can transpose the whole pattern score. And then you have also quick render as audio clip and render as audio clip and render and replace. If you do quick render as audio clip, basically it will be render, it will be export this pattern, so the pattern lead in this case. Okay, and it will automatically export, and then it will put the exported one in the rendered folder. So okay, and you have lead. Also, you can choose render it as audio clip, and so you can change options about rendering, about its depth, wave format, and also you have render and replace with this, for example, main block. If you do render and replace, I click on start, and now on the playlist we have the audio. Okay, so the pattern still remains, is here, but it's no more in the playlist. Okay, so rendering single patterns sometimes is useful to save CPU. Okay, and when I make a render like this, obviously take care that when you render in this way, if you have some automation clips that, for example, control the filter cutoff of this synth, this automation, this sound changing, it not became effective. Okay, so be careful when you think to render patterns. So for the playlist video of FL Studio, that's all, and we'll see you soon with another FL Studio basic tutorial video. If you have any question, please let me know, give me a comment below, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you soon. Bye!